You've got a deadline tomorrow, but somehow you're watching this video right now instead of working on it. Sound familiar? What if I told you that procrastination isn't about being lazy? It's actually your brain trying to protect you. Welcome back to the Mind Whisper. I'm the Guardian. Today we're diving deep into the psychology behind procrastination, why you do it, what's actually happening in your brain, and most importantly, how to break the cycle. By the end of this video, you'll understand the science behind procrastination and walk away with 3 practical strategies that actually work. Let's get into it. And hey, if you've been putting off subscribing to this channel, maybe now's the time to hit that button. I promise the irony is intentional. Here's what we're covering. The real reason behind procrastination. Hint, it's not laziness. Why your brain chooses Netflix over that project. 3 science-backed strategies to beat procrastination. How to turn procrastination into productivity. Let's start with a question. Have you ever noticed that the tasks you procrastinate on the most are usually the most important ones? Here's what's actually happening. When you face a challenging task, your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions, perceives it as a threat. Not a physical threat like a lion chasing you, but an emotional one. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. Think about it like this. Your brain literally treats your work deadline the same way it would treat a predator. Wild, right? So what does your brain do? It activates what psychologists call temporal discounting. Basically, your brain values immediate relief over future rewards. That dopamine hit from scrolling TikTok beats the delayed satisfaction of finishing your project, even though you know you'll regret it later. Research shows that procrastinators aren't lazy. They're just caught in an emotional regulation battle. A 2013 study from the University of Colorado found that procrastination is about mood repair, not time management. You're not avoiding the task itself. You're avoiding the negative feelings associated with it. Show brain diagram highlighting amygdala and prefrontal cortex. But here's where it gets interesting. The more you procrastinate, the worse you feel, which makes you want to procrastinate more. It's a vicious cycle that feeds itself. Not all procrastination is created equal. Which type are you? Type 1, the perfectionist. You can't start because you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect idea. Spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Perfectionism is just fear wearing a fancy mask. Type 2, the dreamer. You love planning and thinking about projects, but struggle with execution. You've got 17 different notebooks with detailed plans, but none of them are actually done. Type 3, the crisis maker. You actually work best under pressure, or so you tell yourself. The truth? You're addicted to the adrenaline rush of last-minute panic. It feels productive, but it's burning you out. Quick question. Drop a comment below with which type you are. No judgment here, we're all figuring this out together. Type 4, the overwhelmed. You have so many tasks that you freeze and do nothing. It's analysis paralysis on steroids. Here's what matters. Understanding your type helps you choose the right strategy. A perfectionist needs different tools than a crisis maker. And that's exactly what we're getting into next. Forget generic advice like, just do it, or manage your time better. Let's talk about strategies backed by behavioral psychology. Strategy number 1, the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. But here's the twist. For bigger tasks, commit to just 2 minutes of work. Tell yourself you'll stop after 2 minutes if you want to. Why does this work? It eliminates the emotional barrier to starting. Once you begin, your brain shifts from avoidance mode to task mode, and momentum takes over. A study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that starting is the hardest part. Once you're in motion, continuation becomes easier. Strategy number 2, temptation bundling. Pair something you need to do with something you want to do. Behavioral economist Catherine Milkman from the University of Pennsylvania proved this works. Only let yourself watch your favorite show while working out, or listen to that podcast you love while doing household chores. For work tasks, create a reward system. Finish that report section? 10 minutes of guilt-free scrolling. Your brain learns to associate the difficult task with pleasure, not pain. Strategy number 3, implementation intentions. This is fancy psychology speak for if-then planning. Research by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer shows that people who use this technique are 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through. Instead of saying, I'll work on my project tomorrow, say, if it's 9 a.m. tomorrow, then I will open my laptop and work on section 1 for 25 minutes. Be specific about the when, where, and how. Real talk. These strategies only work if you actually use them. Sounds obvious, but how many? Productivity videos have you watched without implementing anything? Don't let this be another one. Here's a perspective shift that might blow your mind. Sometimes procrastination is actually your intuition telling you something important. Maybe that project you're avoiding isn't aligned with your values. Maybe you need more information before starting. Maybe you're genuinely burned out and need rest, not more productivity hacks. The key is learning to distinguish between productive procrastination signals and avoidance patterns. Ask yourself, am I avoiding this because I'm afraid, or because something about this task genuinely needs to change? Stanford psychologist Kelly McGonigal argues that we shouldn't wage war against procrastination. We should get curious about it. What is it trying to tell you? That said, most procrastination is fear-based, not intuition-based. Be honest with yourself. Let's recap what we've covered today. Procrastination isn't about laziness. It's emotional regulation. Your brain is trying to protect you from uncomfortable feelings, creating a cycle that makes things worse. Understanding your procrastination type helps you choose the right strategy, whether that's the 2-minute rule, temptation bundling, or implementation intentions. The real transformation happens when you stop beating yourself up about procrastinating and start working with your brain instead of against it. Here's your action step for today. Pick one strategy we discussed and commit to trying it for the next 3 days. Just 3 days. Track what happens and notice the difference. If this video helped you understand procrastination differently, hit that like button and subscribe to the Mind Whisper for more psychology content that actually makes sense. Drop a comment telling me which strategy you're going to try first, or share your biggest procrastination struggle. I read every comment, and your question might become our next video. And if you want to go deeper, check out the video on the screen right now about building better habits. It pairs perfectly with what we just covered. Remember, you're not broken. You're human. And understanding your mind is the first step to changing your behavior. I'm the Guardian, and I'll see you in the next one.